All right, hello everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. Today I wanted to share this new task management to-do list system that I have incorporated into my paper planning that has really been helping me get shit done, to say the least. And I got this idea from a video that I watched on Ella Nim's channel talking about the index card system that is based off of a book called Executive Homemakers, I want to say. I will put a picture on the screen. And I definitely recommend watching that video that Chris made because it goes in depth a lot more, especially into the philosophy and the book and the background of the entire system and what it was designed to help people do. And after I watched that video, it really had my brain turning and it really sparked my interest because task management, especially when it comes to chores and household cleaning, is something that I'm really inconsistent with. I will clean things when I see that they are dirty, but I'm never like proactively cleaning things, I would say, or if I do, it's on a very inconsistent basis. I have two young children who are 5 and 7, and so the house is kind of always a mess. It's just how things work. And so usually at the end of the day, I'm just trying to pick up after them, and it has become a little hard for me to proactively like clean all the nooks and crannies of my home. And that's something I definitely want to get a lot better at and do in a way that is sustainable and efficient. And we are also, hopefully, fingers crossed, we will be getting a puppy next week. And so I wanted to start implementing these things early and get into a routine. I took the things that I saw from the L&M video and I just interpreted it to make it my own and how I know my brain works and is incentivized for things. Mine is a little bit different. Again, I definitely recommend going and watching Chris's video, but I've adopted the same, I think, foundational principle, which is essentially just creating index cards for any like to-dos or maybe self-care or bills or things like that, anything that you want to be put on your schedule and putting it in this like perpetual calendar, if you will, because at the end of the month, once you are finished, it starts over and you don't have to do any extra work on your part. To get started with this system and like what I wanted to put into my task management calendar here, I basically listed out all of the things that I do, but not on a consistent basis, and the things that I want to improve, basically, which a lot of it is just cleaning to-dos. I wrote down a task list of all the things that need to get done within a week or monthly basis. Anything outside of a month, I would probably just put in my paper planner. But when it comes to like daily, weekly, monthly, every other week chores, those all got written down here. I am someone who is very highly motivated by incentives and prizes and competition. So I have incentivized this process. So I don't think this is part of the official system, but for me and the enjoyment and longevity of this process, I want a little bit of skin in the game. I want there to be a prize for all my hard work. Should I just clean my home because I'm an adult and it's the right thing to do and I need to do it, like with no prizes? Like I shouldn't be paid for doing chores. I should just do them. Of course, yes, duh. But if I can incentivize myself to do more or clean more in a way that is sustainable and still enjoyable, like I still want to find ways to enjoy cleaning. So I have incentivized mine with a point system, and those points equal money that I can spend on stationery, books, whatever. So in order to do that, I need to put set values on each cleaning task. So to start that, I wrote down every single task and then I put the frequency that I want to do it. Most of these are weekly. So for example, sweeping, I want to do 5 times a week. None of these things in this list are ever going to say 7 days or every day because one, I don't think that is sustainable or realistic for myself. And 2, I think if it's something that's every day, it shouldn't go in this list. And like that could maybe be a habit tracker in my planner, or I don't know, something that doesn't get incentivized because you just do it every day. Like I would never put brushing my teeth on this list because that's just something I do every day, but I don't sweep every day, if that makes any sense. So I put a frequency and then I put an effort scale. This is kind of effort / enjoyment for me. Sweeping for you might be a very high effort task. For me, I think it's kind of fun, and I think that it's kind of meditative, and it's satisfying for me to see all the crumbs and stuff from my kids that I sweep up. So for me, on the effort scale, I put that as a 1, which was the lowest on the scale. But when it comes to things like laundry, I would rather run myself over with a car than do laundry. I hate doing my kids' laundry. I hate doing my laundry. It's just like a huge pain, and I really could care less to do it. So for that effort scale, I put it on a 4, which is the highest effort that I could have. So I went down through here and I rated everything based on its effort scale or enjoyment scale. And then based on what rating I gave it here is what I equate it into points. So for anything that is rated a 1, I get 5 points. Anything rated a 2 is 10. 3 is 20 points, and then a 4 is 50 points. So 50 is the highest amount of points I can get for one single task. These numbers are pretty arbitrary. You could make any numbers or create any sort of range of numbers that you want. This is just what made sense to me, but there's really no set rhyme or reason to this. I just did what kind of made sense. After I gave every task its point value, I went through and calculated how many possible points I could get in a week. So if I'm trying to sweep 5 times a week and I get 5 points for every time I do that, the total amount of points I could get sweeping is 25. So I went through and I did that for every single task to just get a rough idea of how many total points I could get in 1 month. Because if I could get a total of, like, for example, here I get about 455 points if I do everything on this list perfectly. I don't want to create a point system that is like, I get $200 if I make, 100 points, because it's like, that's the value, the math is not mathing there. So I wanted to make sure that I could add up how many total possible points, the maximum amount, so that when I was doing my dollar value range, it made sense. So when I did my dollars, I kind of did this with like an arcade brain in my brain. I did ranges, and the reason I did that is because it motivates me to save my points instead of spend them. For example, if I have 1,000 points, that means I have $60. But if I just wait one extra day and I save 1,005 points, that automatically bumps me up to $100. Because these ranges are still pretty short, or they're still pretty close together, it motivates me to just keep pushing to save to the next biggest dollar amount, because these also, I have almost like added up interest into each of these amounts. They don't really increase by a set equal number. The longer I wait, the more money I give myself, and that also helps motivate me to save my money from spending on, frivolous things. And it also motivates me to get more chores done and get more cleaning done, because the more cleaning I do, the more points I get, which means the more money I get to spend on my hobbies. And it's been working really, really good. It's very motivating for me every single day. When I tell myself, I'm really not in the mood to sweep the floor right now, but I know that's going to get me 10 points closer to whatever. It is very motivating to have that number attached to it, rather than just giving myself a chore and giving myself a task and there's no value to it. Again, I'm an adult. I should just be doing all of these things because I'm an adult and I need to get them done, and I should just do them without any dollars equated to them. I totally get that. Making the experience a little bit more fun and competitive and motivating, this is why I have assigned it to these other values, because I want it to be sustainable and I want it to be fun. God forbid we make adulting a little bit more fun. So I have tried to gamify mine a little bit. So that is how I did all of my tasks and to-dos. So when it came to the actual cards, you have to do a little bit math, and I would say the setup of your actual cards does take a little bit time. But once you do it once, you're pretty much set, because it is a perpetual calendar, and at the end of the month you have cards already written, so you do it once and you never really have to do it again. Throughout this process, I have started to think of, you know what, I should add watering plants in here because I need to do that every week. And so I have started to go in and either add or modify this a little bit, and I'm sure it will continue to evolve as time goes. But once you kind of have your like core task list set, you're pretty much done and you just do the things. For example, it takes a little brain power. I'm sure there's more simple ways to do this. I will quickly explain how I do it. For the most part, I did the set amount of number for every week in the month, or if it was like a one time per month task or whatever. I wrote those all out on index cards in the correct numbers so that they could be accounted for in each week. And then you basically separate them into their corresponding days. I believe Chris, in their video, they had their weeks separated as well, so you could see a week period in cards. That is something I would like to do. I just haven't gotten around to it. So I just have dates 1 through 31 here, and that's just kind of how I'm rolling with it right now. But I do think some weekly separation in here would be nice. And then when I need to do things like every other month or, once every 3 months, maybe those could be added in here as well. But this is all I have currently. I have used these index cards in conjunction with my paper planning, and I'll show you how I do that. But I like to come in every night and reset for the next day. So typically when I come into my office one final time at nighttime, I will put all the cards that I completed back in the box, and then I will grab my to-dos for the next day, put them in my planner, then I'm good to go. Doesn't really matter if you do it in the night or the morning, whatever way you choose to reset is your way. For example, if I say it is nighttime, today is the 24th, what I'll do is I will come back to my desk at the end of the night. I will pull out my paper planner, which, oh my gosh, hi, it's like, I could just scream about it. I'm channeling my inner Lindsay Scribbles right now. We'll talk about this in another video. This is my current paper planner, my planning only planner, which you guys will see later, and you might have seen me talk about this a little bit in my previous video. But what I have done is I have hole punched and slitted all of my index cards so I can put them in my ring planner. Don't have to do this. You could easily just slot them or just put them in a bound book. You could put it like in a pocket of a like planner cover. It doesn't have to be a rings system. That's just currently what I'm using for my planner. I have slotted all of mine, so it makes them really easy to just put them in and out every day. I have a lot of to-dos for today, so I'm not gonna put all of these back in. But let's just say it is the end of the night and I'm coming to take all of these out. So I will come into my planner, I'll open it up, I will double check that I have all my cards and that I have either completed these or not completed these. So I will take them out. And then I have this point card tracker, I guess you could say, right here, where I basically just cross off all of the to-dos or task that I have done. So for example, let's say that I did all 3 of these things today. So what I would do is I would come in, I clean the upstairs bathroom, I'm gonna mark off 20 points. I took a 2-hour phone break, 20 points. 10-minute cleanup, 10 points. And then I would take these cards, I would put them back in their date for the 24th, and then you move them to the back, and then you grab cards for the next day, and then I just slot them back in, and now I have all of my chores or my cleaning tasks ready to go for tomorrow. There's no thinking, there's no writing that I have to do. I'm just assigned the chore and I do the chore, or I don't. And if I don't do it, then I don't get the points, and that's fine, and I just do it later. So that's how I'm currently tracking it and using it in conjunction with my paper planning. And I think putting it in like this has really, really been a game changer. I still keep a to-do list on my weekly spread, but these are more date specific and they're less chore-like. It's like changing the filters, filming my index system, scheduling Cairo. Like those things aren't necessarily home and home and cleaning. This is just like a to-do list of stuff I got to get done. I'm using them together. I think I could put a habit tracker on here that's like, reset index cards. So I make sure every single day I'm coming in and doing this exchange. So I know I have a fresh set of my to-dos for myself. So that is how I have been doing the index card system. I'm sure it will evolve as time goes on. I'm really liking it, and nothing has ever clicked with me as fast as this productivity-wise, like to-do list-wise. I've always done a task or to-do list either on a daily spread or a weekly spread, and I've tried doing it that way, and it just gets to be a little bit monotonous, and sometimes when I just don't have the capacity mentally, I just will not do anything because I don't want to write any of my to-dos down or anything like that. So I really like the index card system because it takes a lot of the thinking out of it, and it's almost like it feels like someone else is telling me that I need to get these things done, not myself. I come in, I pull my cards, and it's just there for me. I don't have to do any thinking, and I don't have to do anything more than this. And so it's been really, 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 really nice, really beneficial. So shout out to Chris for posting the index card video, because I don't think I would have ever landed on this side of YouTube without it. I'm sure this will evolve, you know, as we progress, and if you guys would like to see that evolution, definitely let me know, and I can show you, or just, you know, upkeep with you guys in my planner update videos. But that is how I've been using the index card system for, you know, my task management and productivity. I also think it could be a really good use case for maybe like a bill tracker or a self-care calendar, where you're purposely assigning yourself, you know, maybe self-care items every week or every other day and things like that. So I think there's definitely other ways to use this perpetual index calendar that's not just chores or cleaning. I think there could be a lot of really fun ways, and that's kind of why you might have seen it earlier, but some of the cards I've added in here is like 2-hour phone break. That's not really cleaning, and that's not really a chore, but it's definitely a habit and part of my, you know, maybe mental hygiene that I want to start incorporating more for my overall well-being. And if it's something that I don't assign myself, I'm probably not going to do it. Like, I'm probably still just going to pick up my phone without even thinking about it. But when I purposely plan things for myself, and they kind of just come as a surprise, because I don't know what cleaning tasks I have for tomorrow or the next day. I have an idea because I know I need to sweep at least 5 times a week. So I can kind of, you know, estimate that I have sweeping coming up. But for a lot of my like once a week task or every other week, I don't know when those things are coming up. And so it's really nice to just take the mental load and decision paralysis out of it and just be assigned something and just do it and then be done with it. And we're about 2 weeks in, and I'm really liking it. And I think it's really cool, and I hope it could be a little bit more normalized, because it definitely feels like something, you know, nostalgic, or that you would see your like mom or grandma have on their counter. Supplies wise, really quick, this whole setup probably cost me less than $10. I originally started this process with index cards with little tabs attached to them because I didn't have ones with the little dividers on them. Index cards were like 99 cents for a pack of 100. I would recommend getting like 2 to 3 packs just to be safe, because I did not buy enough the first time. And then I was keeping mine in just this like envelope that I had already had, and that worked fine. But then a few days later, I had went to Walmart, and they had this index card box for like $3, and then they had these divider tabs for $2. So in total, I probably spent less than like $10 on this. I don't think it needs to be anything crazy or extravagant. I did add stickers to mine just so it was like a little cute. This is the current system we're working with, and I really, really like it. So next video, I'll probably be doing a 2026 lineup for you guys. I think I'm pretty solid on the books and systems that I want to use for the upcoming calendar year. So if you are subscribed, thank you so much. I appreciate you so much for being here and spending your time with me, and I will see you all in the next video.